Hi, Charles is SirBookSage here, and it is day 2 of the Holiday Adventureathon. I am part of Morgie Reads' Team Holiday Elf, and I figured I would just kind of do a casual sort of vloggy experience of my day. Now, I do apologize for the low quality of some of the footage you're about to see. Some of it was just quick little snippets filmed on my cell phone. And I had no idea how it was going to turn out because I don't vlog from my cell phone. I don't vlog in general, like that kind of casual talky vlog. And I definitely haven't done it for my cell phone before. So it's a good learning experience, but I'm going to include it here. It's part of my day. Most of it's going to be voiceover and some music. But it's just kind of give you an idea of how my day went. Hi, Charles is SirBookSage here. And this was supposed to be my vlog today for Holiday Adventureathon, Go Team House Elf. But I, 1, forgot my book at home, 2, forgot my lunch at home. So instead of sitting in my nice warm office reading for my lunch break, I am out in the freezing 19-degree weather cold. I want to get myself something to eat. And I won't be able to read until I get home. So this is just a quick check-in, and I am going to check back in once I do get home and get to sit down and start doing some proper reading. So work is finally done. It's about 6:40, and I am getting out of here in this freezing cold. It's down to 16 degrees now. And I am going to head, I think I'm going to stop at Barnes & Noble first on my way home. And then I'm going to go home and eat, and then get back to reading. So I can catch up because I haven't read a word all day today. And I need to get on that. So I will check back in probably at Barnes & Noble. So I am home. Now, I wasn't in the bookstore very long. I did buy one book. I'll show it to you in a minute. But the temperature went from 16 degrees down to 12 degrees by the time I got back out of the store. So I'm glad to be home. The house is cold, so I got to turn the heat on. And then I got to heat up some food. I'm starving. It's almost 8 o'clock at night. And I have not read a word today. So I'm going to do that now. Whew, having a hard time breathing. Have asthma, and 12-degree weather just kicks my asthma into gear. So I'm going to relax for a minute, heat the place up, get some food, sit down, and have my festive beverage with some reading tonight. So I will see you in just a little bit. Okay, finally sitting down at 8:21 p.m. and just kind of having leftovers for dinner. Some of this kind of like ham, some mac and cheese. Yep. There we go. I'm just going to eat real quick and then get to reading. That guy down there. And then tasty beverage time. All right, Charles is SirBookSage here. I am finally home. My belly is full. It is 9:07 p.m. And I am finally going to start doing some reading today for day 2 of the Holiday Adventureathon. Go Team House Elf. And I'm starting in on Necromancer. This was the Star Challenge, the metallic on the cover. And this is the very first of the Dorsai books, famous kind of sort of military sci-fi series from Gordon R. Dickson. And while I'm reading, I'm going to have my Festive Beverage, which is Stone Brewing's Enjoy by IPA series. Enjoy by 12/25/17. Enjoy by Christmas. Very cool. Let's see if it'll get that. So I'm going to open this up, pour a little bit out into my Omegang Brewery, House Targaryen, Fire and Blood, Game of Thrones glass. that I got at the brewery a few years ago. They actually did a release of their Game of Thrones inspired Fire and Blood Belgian beer the day before St. Patrick's Day that year, and I went on St. Patrick's Day the following day to the brewery. Ended up getting a couple of bottles of the beer and this glass. And this is one of my go-to glasses. So, and I know this is a booktube vlog, but I'm doing the festive beverage, so I might as well do it right. Unfiltered IPA, so which means it's cloudy. And now I'm going to start reading and start enjoying my festive beverage. Oh, yeah. Now that is spectacular. I may have to go get more of that. It's got this sort of like piney, bitter. I mean, IPAs are bitter anyway, but this has got this great sort of pine. Almost like some tropical fruit rind rather than the fruit itself almost. It's really good. All right, now I'm going to get to reading and festive beveraging. And I figured before I actually start recording myself reading this whole book, I'll read the opening paragraph. This is chapter 1 of Necromancer. The mine, generally speaking, was automatic. It consisted of some $180 million worth of equipment, spread out through 3.5 cubic miles of gold ore-bearing rock, granite, and quartz, all controlled by the single console where the shift engineer on duty sat. And that's how it starts. And we'll see where it goes from here. Okay, so I just finished the first 2 chapters of Necromancer, and before I dive back in and continue also my festive beverage, I forgot to show you the book I purchased at Barnes & Noble earlier. So I'm going to do that now. Now, on the last Friday reads that I did, I had a quick little discussion about book buying habits. And I've talked particularly about A Song of Ice and Fire and how I had owned the first 4 books in mass market paperback, but when A Dance with Dragons came out, I went and immediately bought the ebook because I didn't want to wait a year between the hardcover publication and the mass market publication. And then because I bought book 5 on ebook, I ended up buying books 1, 2, 3, and 4 on ebook. So I have all 5 books on ebook, but still only the first 4 books in mass market paperback. And one of the things I told myself earlier this year is that before the year's over, I would get that paperback to finish. So I'd have all 5 in mass market paperback. And I realized I wanted to get the cover that wasn't a picture of one of the actors from the TV show. So I went over and looked, and I found a copy of generally the one I wanted to get. So I picked up the mass market paperback of A Dance with Dragons. So now I have all 5 in ebook and now all 5 in mass market paperback. So that's good. So I'm happy to knock that off my list. And this is such a great book. Anyway, I don't want to even start looking at it because I will get completely sidetracked, and next thing I know, it'll be 4 hours later, and I will have jumped through all of John's chapters or something. So I'm going to put this back down now, and then I'm going to get back to reading and drinking some festive beverage. Okay, one quick little note here. I am on chapter 3 right now, and what appears to be the main character, Paul Formain, I think his name is. Yes, Paul Formain. He's arrived at this hotel, and the hotels have this thing called, his suitcase had emerged from the luggage delivery chute in the wall of the room, which I thought was a pretty cool little touch, where this is again in the future, and when your luggage arrives at the hotel, brought after you get there, they send it up these delivery chutes. On the downside, it eliminates the bellboy and puts people out of work. But on the upside, that's pretty cool to just have it show right up, because he was in the shower when it arrived, and he came back out of the shower and there it was. Which on the other side is also kind of creepy, because how do you know someone can't ride that chute up and get into your hotel room, pretending to be luggage? So I just wanted to kind of touch base on that, because I thought it was a neat little interesting tidbit in the book. So I'm going to get back to reading now. One more little tidbit. Apparently, after he gets out of the shower, he put on these gray-green disposable slacks he had pressed for from the room dispenser after the shower. Apparently, the hotels here, not only will send your luggage up some sort of chute right to your room, but they have disposable clothes that you can wear, as well as any clothes you brought with you. Which, again, this is part of what I love about science fiction, all these little cool, like, inventions that exist in the futures these writers create. Some of those, like a lot of things Arthur C. Clarke came up with, turn into real things. And some of these are just kind of Star Trek-y, sort of cool little tidbits. But that you could see something like that where there's a simple disposable slacks that you can just, like almost disposable pajamas that you can put on coming out of the shower. Pretty cool. Anyway, now I'm going to go back to reading for real. And one more little tidbit. In the first 2 chapters, the main character, Paul Formain, had gone to this sort of mining. I read the first little paragraph that dealt with some mining company. And he was working the machinery, and the sort of train of cars that carry the ore up kept getting stuck in this one spot. And he ended up trying to go kick it into place like you're supposed to. But something else happened that sort of put him into a hypnosis, and he didn't realize how much time had passed. And the automatic timer kicked back in while he was still in the shaft. And as a result, one of his arms gets ripped off. And now this is like a few years later, and it's him, what he's doing now after that. And now that I went to look back at the cover, now I've owned this book for at least 10 years or more, and I have never noticed until now that I've reached this scene in chapter 3 where he's missing an arm. I never noticed before that indeed he's missing his other arm, and I never noticed that before. Huh. Pretty wild. Like, how did I not notice that before? And would I have ever noticed it if I had only read like the first 2 chapters and stopped and never gotten back to the book? I don't know. Pretty wild. Gonna get back to reading now. So, my festive beverage is done. Pretty much done. That was delicious. So I'm going to call it a night for my vlog. And on Twitter, I will tweet out an update in a little while of what my progress for the day ends up being as far as how many pages I get today. So I'm going to stop here for a moment. I'm going to end the video because I do have to actually save this, render it, edit it, export it, upload it, and publish it on Twitter, because this is also my day 14 Vlogmas video, and it's a Holiday Adventureathon video for House Elf team. And I don't know how many vlogs like this I'm going to do for this readathon. Vlogging, like this kind of casual vlogging thing, is really new to me. The only other time I've done anything sort of vloggy like this was during Sylvia K's Cozyathon. But we'll see how it goes. I might give it a try some more. Now, I know some of the early footage in this vlog was filmed on my cell phone, and unless it has really good lighting, it doesn't do a really good job of filming at all, so I apologize for that crappy footage earlier. But I'm going to wrap it up here. Hope everyone's having fun in the Holiday Adventureathon. Go Team House Elf. And I will see you in the comments and see you on Twitter. I am Charles with SirBookSage. Happy reading.